Jack Doherty's career is falling apart, but he refuses to admit it. Once a rising star in the world of IRL streaming, Jack built his brand on wild stunts, public pranks, and controversial content. His fearless attitude and ability to generate viral moments made him a dominant force on platforms like Kick, where he cultivated a dedicated following. But as his fame grew, so did the backlash. His reckless behavior, from harassing strangers for content to engaging in dangerous stunts, started catching up with him. Bans, scandals, and legal trouble followed, leading to the complete collapse of his career. And yet, instead of taking responsibility, Jack insists he's the victim. He blames platforms, haters, and even his own fans. Anything but himself. His story isn't just one of a streamer losing everything. It's a cautionary tale of someone so deep in denial that he refuses to see the truth. Jack Doherty's journey to fame started with IRL, in real life streaming, where he quickly gained traction by pushing boundaries. Unlike traditional content creators, Jack thrived on chaos. His streams were filled with outrageous pranks, reckless behavior, and moments that blurred the line between entertainment and outright harassment. He became known for pulling wild stunts in public, often involving strangers who wanted nothing to do with his antics. Whether it was provoking security guards, making people uncomfortable for content, or flexing his wealth, his streams thrived on controversy. This shock value approach attracted millions of views, and more importantly, a loyal fan base that cheered him on. However, with great attention came great scrutiny. As his content grew more extreme, platforms began issuing warnings. He faced temporary bans for harassment, reckless driving, and inappropriate behavior. But he always found a way back. Jack saw these bans as temporary roadblocks, not warnings to change his ways. Instead of dialing things down, he doubled down, convinced that his brand of chaos was untouchable. Little did he know, he was setting himself up for a downfall that would be impossible to recover from. Jack Doherty's reckless approach to content finally caught up with him in one of the biggest mistakes of his career, the infamous McLaren crash. In an attempt to create high-energy content, Jack was seen speeding recklessly in his luxury McLaren while live streaming. His need for constant attention led him to push the limits, but this time, it backfired spectacularly. He lost control of the car, crashing it in a way that could have seriously injured himself or others. The incident was impossible to ignore. Kick, the platform that had been his primary source of income, responded swiftly by permanently banning him. Given Kick's lenient policies, a permanent ban was a clear message. Jack had gone too far, but instead of taking responsibility, Jack went into full denial mode. He called the crash an accident, downplayed the severity, and even hinted that Kick was being unfair. He insisted the ban was temporary and that he would bounce back, refusing to acknowledge that his reckless behavior was finally catching up with him. What made things worse was his next move, launching a meme coin pump and dump scheme, seemingly desperate to cash in on his remaining influence. Fans who once admired him started to see him in a different light. The McLaren crash wasn't just an unfortunate event, it was the moment that marked the beginning of his rapid downfall. But Jack still believed he was untouchable, setting the stage for even more disastrous decisions. After just 3 months, Kick made the shocking decision to unban Jack Doherty, giving him a second chance. This should have been a turning point, a moment for reflection and redemption. Jack even acknowledged this in his comeback stream, promising to be more humble and smarter about his content choices. He assured his fans that he had learned from his mistakes and would no longer engage in reckless behavior. But that promise didn't last long. Within days, Jack was back to his usual antics, taunting people in public, stirring up controversy, and engaging in the same reckless stunts that had gotten him banned in the first place. His arrogance returned full force as he laughed off his past mistakes, acting as if he was invincible. Rather than appreciating the rare second chance Kick had given him, Jack treated it as proof that he could do whatever he wanted without consequences. But the reality was different. His career was hanging by a thread. Fans once loyal started seeing a pattern. Jack never actually learned from his mistakes. His comeback wasn't about growth or change. It was just another cycle of destruction waiting to explode. And it didn't take long for that explosion to happen. Jack Doherty's second chance on Kick didn't last long. Just 9 days after his return, he found himself in another controversy, this time one that would seal his fate for good. During a live stream on January 18th, Jack was out in public collaborating with another streamer when a stream sniper approached him. In the IRL streaming world, stream snipers are people who track down streamers in real life using their live location. Sometimes they're fans, but other times they're there just to stir up trouble. In this case, the stream sniper took things too far. He walked up to Jack and slapped him in the face. While getting slapped on stream is humiliating, what Jack did next was far worse. Instead of de-escalating or letting his security handle it, he chased the guy down and physically assaulted him, all while still live streaming. His bodyguard joined in, turning the situation into a one-sided beatdown that was broadcast to thousands of viewers. It didn't take long for Kick to react. Given that the entire incident was recorded and streamed, there was no denying what had happened. Kick immediately permanently banned Jack for violating their policies. Once again, instead of taking accountability, Jack went into full denial mode. He claimed it was self-defense, when in reality, it was clear retaliation. The attacker had already fled, and Jack made the conscious choice to go after him. His refusal to acknowledge this only made things worse. At this point, his career was in ruins. He had burned through 2 chances on Kick, and now he had nowhere left to go. But instead of learning from his mistakes, Jack did what he always did. He lashed out in frustration. Jack Doherty's second permanent ban from Kick hit him hard, and instead of reflecting on his mistakes, he did what he always did, complained. He immediately went live on another platform, ranting about how unfair the ban was. He claimed that he was simply defending himself and accused Kick of turning into Twitch, the very platform he had criticized for being too strict. Frustrated and desperate to regain his streaming career, Jack attempted to appeal the ban. However, in true Jack Doherty fashion, he didn't take the process seriously. Instead of writing a sincere appeal, he lazily used ChatGPT to generate a formal email to Kick's staff. Predictably, his AI-generated plea was rejected, and that's when Jack completely lost it. He went on a full-blown meltdown during a live stream, cursing out Kick, its staff, and even its Australian founders. He ranted about how the platform had betrayed him, even though he had been given multiple chances. His frustration turned into personal attacks, and he even threw political insults into the mix, making himself look even more unhinged. At this point, it was clear. Jack wasn't just banned from Kick, he had burned every bridge he had left. And now, with nowhere to go, he was scrambling for a new platform to keep his career alive. With Kick permanently shutting him out, Jack was desperate for a new streaming home. His solution? Party.com, a much smaller, less popular streaming platform. The move was a clear downgrade. Unlike Kick, which had a growing audience and major financial backing, Party.com was virtually unknown. It had significantly fewer viewers, making it an unsustainable choice for a content creator used to massive audiences. But Jack had no other options. Twitch wouldn't take him back, and YouTube wasn't a viable place for his chaotic IRL streams. The problem was that his fans weren't willing to follow him to an obscure platform. His numbers plummeted, engagement dropped, and his relevance began to fade. Without a large audience, Jack was losing the very thing that fueled his career: attention.